Call to order. Call this meeting to order. Determine there's a quorum present. We have Commissioner Wardlaw, Commissioner Vasquez. Are you on?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Middleton and Commissioner Flores. We have a quorum. Commissioner Flores, if you'll please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America.
Yes.
To the republic
I pledge allegiance to the flag
one nation,
of the
under
United States
God,
of America,
indivisible,
and to the republic
with
that
justice
stands
for all.
one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
That'll work. We heard you. We heard it twice. You're too good.
Y'all are gonna,
Yeah, you took off and then you fell off. Yeah, but no, it's all good. We got it done. Folks, had a cousin that passed away on Sunday. She's actually a county judge in Fort Davis and an attorney and a county judge. She passed away suddenly Sunday. If y'all don't mind, we'll have a moment of silence for her. Thank y'all. It was Miss Hurley, Roy Hurley's wife. Super nice person. We're gonna go to item 4, approving the minutes. I don't have anything in my package.
motion to approve.
I don't. Did y'all have something in y'all's package? I didn't see nothing.
No, they do it, I think. Yeah, she did send them out.
Okay. I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, and I'm gonna abstain. I had not received it. All those in favor?
Aye.
4-0 vote, 1 abstention. Citizens' comments, Judge Cadena?
Yes.
We'll see if we can adjust this if you're not right.
Oh, good morning. I hope you all can hear me through the mask.
Doesn't turn you on.
Okay.
Give me a second, I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. I wanted to introduce this year our intern that came to support us and help us this particular summer. It was a very, obviously, tumultuous summer, and we appreciate all the efforts the Commissioners Court has done to keep our community safe. She came to us from the University of Texas. Her name is Lada, got on its way. As a matter of fact, I did not even use the monies this year that the Commissioners Court has set aside in previous years for the intern program because I was concerned about bringing 2 other individuals in during this pandemic. However, we had already been contacted in December and January of this past year to do this program, and I think the momentum that this court created when we created the program about 5 years ago had been recognized by the University of Texas, and they approached the 83rd District Court about having one of their particular students be an intern with us. This program has evolved to the point now where one of the flagship universities in this particular state has taken note. And I think it's very important that I recognize her and bring her before the court because, as you well know, today's students are tomorrow's leaders. And they sent us an exceptional student. Lada is going to be in her sophomore year at the University of Texas. Her major is a Bachelor of Science in Public Relations. Her minor will be in Business Administration. She ranked number 2 in her graduating class year at Del Rio High. She was a Future Business Leaders of America Vice President, National Technical Honor Society President, National Honor Society Secretary. She's on the Dean's Fall Honor List 2019. And of course, she was awarded the University of Texas Presidential Scholarship to attend that university. She got a full ride. And she's carrying a 4.0. She's from Del Rio. Impressive credentials. I wish we had, maybe she could think about maybe going A&M after she finishes, but that's going to be on her. But these are the type of...
But we're not going to hold that against her.
We're not holding that against her. And she knew that coming in, but we don't discriminate on that. As a matter of fact, it was just a very... In the midst of this catastrophe and this pandemic, this court has been very supportive of the courts in helping us infuse technology. And I have to Also thank the Information Technology Department, Ramiro, Stephen, Michael, and this court for all of the improvements that you all allowed us to do so that we could better serve the public. And you will see those improvements later on during the budgetary process. Lada helped us put together a PowerPoint, which I hope you can at least set aside an hour for me so I can go through all those slides and show you and the public what this court has allowed us to do to better serve the public. But she came in, as they always do, at a very fortuitous time. We had to learn to do things by Zoom, like we're doing now, and she was able to assist us in making sure that we knew all the facets of that particular technology so we could better serve the courts. And I know that we have invited the media to come and see what we do and how we do it, because we are continuing to serve the public in that realm. So her coming on board was very helpful because these young people, they understand technology and they're able to help us get things done. We're here because we wanted to thank you for supporting this particular program. And we want to tell you that we're very grateful that you recognize the talent that we have here in this community and that you all support that. And I wanted to bring her before you so she can tell you whatever she wants to tell you about the program. But at the very least, let you all know that what you do impacts young people in this program. And we really appreciate the efforts and the time that you all took to support that program. I know Judge Owens was on the court initially that funded this, and we're very thankful for that. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and present Lara Garanzuay to you all so that she can, let you know how this affected her. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm not sure where to look, but it's okay.
It's wherever you want to.
Good morning. My name is Lara Garanzuay, and like Judge said, I'm a PR major at the University of Texas. I'm going to be a sophomore, but I'm set to graduate a year early, so I'm halfway through.
It's like, damn.
Yeah. My parents keep telling
That was a
me,
good damn.
yeah. My parents keep telling me to take it slow, but we'll see. So I added a minor so that I can spend some more time at school.
You added more work just so you can stretch it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
This internship program was set by the University of Texas, and there's actually 5 of us here interning, and I was lucky enough to work with Judge Colonia, and we interned for about 2 months here throughout the summer, and also did some research apart from the internship, focused on how our community can work towards recovery, economic recovery after COVID. And we've been interviewing and passing around many surveys to kind of see how that part of COVID will take place once we get there. And that's
So in your studies, you said you were doing this. Will you have to write a paper, or will you?
we put together a PowerPoint presentation that the 5 interns put together, and we sent towards UT, and they have more detailed.
So we'll be able to get that?
Yes, they're gonna put together a more extensive.
Oh, wow, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
and
we'd
come
like to have
back
that.
and
Awesome.
yeah, and come back and present it to you guys and see.
Sort of a new point of view from outside of our little circle. We're sort of looking in. I think you'd probably have a better perspective than what we'd have. Especially a younger perspective.
We did our part, and now we're waiting for the school to give in their part and put the final information, because they have a lot more detailed and extensive information. But yeah, it's over 70 different counties here in Texas, and Del Rio was lucky enough to be a part of it, and they're more rural, smaller communities, and I think there's some in Louisiana as well. And that's why I'm here, and UT gave me another scholarship instead of having to have the community pay for my internship. So it was free to the county, it was free to the county, and we all got a scholarship out of it to help us pay for school.
So what job can we create to bring you back?
I mean, I'm a public relations major, so anything with that, I definitely come back
Okay.
in about 2
Did you
years.
hear that? We need to create something for her to come back.
Yeah.
What do you want to get? What do you want to make? Like just ballpark. Don't hold back. Judge Colonia said, "Don't hold back." That's impressive. I mean, it's.
I'm sorry?
You what? Didn't hear you. That's impressive. That's
Thank you.
impressive. Thank y'all. Thank you for what you're doing, and I really do look forward to that paper, everything that you're preparing.
Yes, definitely.
I think, it'll be a good thing for us. I
Mhm.
mean, we have conversations with the commissioners, on a daily basis, just, what happens next? Is this the new normal?
Yeah.
We hope not,
Mhm.
but what is going to be the new normal? I mean, we're struggling right now with our finances, and the budget,
Mhm.
and checking to see how much money, I mean, really, what's this gonna cost us? This year, we sort of had it, the state came in, but what are we gonna do the next fiscal year? What are we gonna do 2 years from now?
Mhm.
And I keep pointing at Matt because that's who we were visiting with yesterday. He's our auditor, and it's going to be a part of our life. How do we move forward? And like you say, these businesses, we've had I think the first shutdown with essential businesses, there was a list of essential businesses, but then you had other businesses that had to shut down, and then you had mentioned, well, there might be another one. How do you
Prepare.
survive it?
Yeah.
As a business, how do you survive it? And then to try to get out the information, that, it isn't the restaurants, it isn't this, it isn't that that's causing it, it's the gatherings. And, the sheriff, a little while ago, we were having that conversation right before this meeting, but how's it gonna impact us? I mean, it's gonna be difficult. I mean, heck, we can't even keep the lake open, and you have a lot of people out there on the weekends that come in and spend money, and I mean, how are we gonna survive? But I'd love to
Yes,
see your
definitely. We'll make sure to get
perspective on
that to
this.
you.
You don't mind? Y'all have any questions for her?
No,
Y'all okay?
good.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you. Judge, thank you so much.
Thank you. I have excuse.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
And again, don't forget about us when you get done. You come back.
If there's a job, I'll definitely.
Well, we'll make one. I won't be here, but. Approving plats,
None.
none? Okay. Approving certificates of compliance,
None.
approving monthly reports from elected officials.
Move. Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nelson, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? 5-0 vote. Approving bills,
Move. Second.
Commissioner Flores went first, gave the motion, Commissioner Nelson a second, all those in favor. Matt, did we have something to add, or?
We did
okay?
not. We're good.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Auditors report.
Morning,
Matt's already
Commissioners.
standing up here.
All right. Is there any questions on the current reports that were provided?
Y'all have any questions?
Motion to approve.
All right.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nelson, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Budget adjustment, Sheriff's Office, $700 from auto expense to uniforms.
Move. Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye. 5-0 vote. B, District Attorney, $1,500 from travel and training to office supplies.
Move. Second.
A motion, Commissioner Flores, second Commissioner Nettleton, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. 5-0 votes. Matt, you did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Item number 12, Treasurer's Report. This is a good one?
No, this is not a good one, this is just a preliminary report, it's all the formality that I have to turn in something within the first 10 days of the month.
Okay. So we're good, no action required.
No action.
All right, move on to item 13, presentation resolution approval, Texas Veteran Commission. Tela, we'll switch him over right now.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, EXO. First of all, I just want to apologize for not being clear the first time we presented the approval of this grant. I just wanted to run over where exactly the $75,000 is gonna go. 31,200 of it is going to be going to the salaries of the drivers. So Valverde County will no longer have to pay for the salaries nor their fringe benefits for this next budget cycle from whenever they get approved. I'm assuming August, September till next year.
So the 1st of October till the end of September? That's when our fiscal year.
That's what our fiscal year is, but not the grants.
Okay, the grant is just from when to when?
It started in July. We already started spending money for the gas expenses. It should be from July to July.
Okay.
This is July 1st through June 30th.
July 1st through, yeah, correct. Thank you. Appreciate that, Commissioner. And then they'll go back to, if I don't get the next grant's approval, they'll go back to what Valverde County was paying them. So I did have to make amendments on the grant. If you see the direct costs, the $19,200, that's for gas expenses. I had averaged approximately $100 per trip, taking 4 trips a week to San Antonio and or Kerrville. With the new amendment, it's going to be dropped down to $12,700 because the $6,500 that I'm going to be taking out of that expense will be for the fringe benefits for the drivers, benefits. And then the client services, $24,600, that's on there. That's for helping veterans that are in need, who meet the requirements of being poor enough. We will be able to help 24 veterans, giving them $800 for rent, and 54 veterans, giving them $100 for utilities if they meet the proper requirements.
It's really sad that we have veterans that are in that position and need that help.
Yes, we've already had a few come into the office, and we're putting them through the application process. However, we are grateful at the fact that the county is letting us push this money through the county. And so you guys are doing a great help in regards to when and if veterans do fall under these circumstances, they have somewhere to go.
I agree with you. I think we need to do whatever we can to help them out. It's really sad that the federal government has not stepped up to the plate for the people that have defended this country.
It is. It is. I got in an argument with San Antonio. This has nothing to do with it. But when I went up there to to meet with the VA, they had allocated something like $1.5 million for transportation costs for rural communities, and they didn't give Valverde County $1. When I just got this grant, we got this grant approved for $75,000. I asked them, why is it that I need to go to other entities when you guys are handing out $1.5 million across Texas and not taking care of an actual rural community for these veterans? And they didn't have anything to say.
What would they say?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. We'll look into it.
You need any action from us?
No, I just wanted to let everybody know that I just wanted to have everybody on the same page, let everybody know where every dollar is going, and there's no confusion in regards to the salary or the money that's being spent for utilities and rental assistance.
Okay.
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nelson, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? 5-0 vote. We're gonna vote on it. We got so mess around. Item 14, approving an interlocal agreement between the City of Del Rio and Valverde County for the collection of city property taxes by Valverde County Tax Assessor Collector, and requesting authority for County Judge and County Tax Assessor to sign. Roy, there we are.
Hello, how are you? Commissioner, Court. As I provided a summary of some of
Do
the,
what? Did you say
I'll make a
something?
motion to approve for discussion.
Okay.
Second.
A motion to approve, for discussion, Commissioner Nelson, Commissioner Flores. Roy.
any questions I can start with?
What are we gonna be charging them? What is the total?
Based on their 2019, 2020 estimates on their distribution, it'll be a percent of 1.75, for a total, amount of $173,259.20.
What is it gonna cost us?
Ongoing or first year? First year, it's gonna be the highest cost because you've got conversion costs and we got, salary adjustments, we've got, computer maintenance, postage, little remodeling. Our first year our cost for conversion and integration is $39,825, $50,000 to remodel the office, and
That-
then,
Okay,
they're separate, but
now
that's a
the
wish
50,
list.
the 50,000 is a wish list.
Yeah, and then 20,058 on salaries, computer maintenance and postage. So you're looking about 60,000,
The first year.
yes, the first year, so
And then every year, and then you'll knock
you're
off
about
the,
153 on your net.
and then the 39,875, that one will come on, right?
That's
The
correct,
second year.
that's correct.
So after the first year, the
correct.
second year should cost us an employee and something else, right? Which
That's
is
correct.
that
It's
cost
about
is what?
21,000 a year.
Okay, in this contract, on number 4A, it says 2% for current and delinquent. Is it not gonna be 2%?
Do you have a copy?
Which one was it, I'm sorry?
Number 4. I'm not sure what page it is, I think mine is 4A. Okay, it's 2% for current and delinquent.
No, that's a 1 1/4, or 1 3/4 on everything.
So it's not gonna be 2, it's 1 3/4?
That is correct.
And is it gonna cost us any money on the delinquent collections through the, line barbers?
No adjustment whatsoever.
So you're gonna need one new employee?
Yes, that is correct.
That's already, and that we've already added. That is already added in our budget, in case y'all wanted to do it. We still have time, but that employee's already added in the proposed budget.
Why do we need the additional employee?
Well, there'll be some additional work, calculations and collections as well.
Can we not just give
And
some of
reporting.
the employees a little bit more money and they do it instead of send a new employee?
I think also, one of the things was we were gonna get rid of a part-timer and put the part-timer up to a
That's
full-timer.
basically what, bottom line, we're gonna make a part-timer or a full-timer. and
Yeah.
So we're actually adding about a half a person.
All right.
I don't know how we're gonna cut them up. We're gonna add another person. I had a motion, Commissioner Middleton, second Commissioner Flores. Do y'all stand by y'all's motion? Y'all okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All those in favor?
All right.
5-0 vote.
The only thing I want everybody to know is, don't think we raised your taxes. This is everybody's bill gonna be on one bill.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah, but no, it's all good, it's all good. Item 15, presentation, emergency services help for Colonia's policy. Rob?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Thanks for having me. County court is not required to formally adopt policies, but I wanted to take them before you, just kind of explain, see what I put together. Hopefully you will adopt them. I just wanted to make sure everything was done in a transparent manner, and we can air out everything, every little policy detail I've got in here. I wrote the policies taking into account the guidance that y'all gave me in past Commissioners Court meetings, and also to the best of my abilities to try and foresee what I foresaw is the most major impediments to the program. Those I see as too many applications, too few applications, the coronavirus itself, and by that I mean how do we keep staff and applicants safe, and just the basic fairness of doing a program in a county as diverse geographically and population-wise as the Colonias of Valverde County. I'll start off with safety. The core tenet to the safety component is to avoid long lines at the beginning. And in order to do that, we're going to start with an X date and end at a Y date, so that it won't matter whether you're the very first person to hand an application, the middle person to hand an application, or the very last person to hand an application. It'll be a set of dates in between there. We'll accept applications and then rank and score the applications and then fund them. And then other than that idea, it's just basic, trying to keep people outside of the offices as much as possible. We've installed a mail slot in the door so people can hand in documents. We'll try to refer people to phone conversations for questions. And then if they do need to come inside the self-help center, we do have the thermometer gun. We'll take temperatures. If someone's too high the first time, we'll let them cool down and give them a second shot. We'll require a face mask inside the building and, of course, 6-foot separation. If anyone else has any ideas on how we can keep people safe, I'd love to hear them.
Rob, this is Commissioner Flores.
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to state that we need to make sure that all this money is split 4 different ways, equally for each precinct. Because there's a need in everybody's precinct. So we need to be transparent on that and make sure we do that.
Absolutely. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Hopefully that'll answer any questions that you may have on that. I'll cover the next one very quickly because I think it's the least likely impediment to this program, and that's too few applications. I really just don't see that as a problem. But the program designed to deal with too few applications is we'll start out the first month with just the 5 colonias that are in the Colonia Self-Help Center contract the court has prioritized. And if we somehow don't expend all the funds available within that first month, then we'll expand our net and we'll take into account any colonia within the county that has an M number identified by the state. And if for some reason after that second month we still haven't expended all the funding, then we'll expand to the entire unincorporated area of the county. So that'll be everyone except for folks that live inside the city limits of the city of Del Rio.
Rob, another thing, I'd like to state that we are willing to help here at the community center. I've got 2 ladies that can help you with the paperwork this side of things.
Thank you very much, Mr. Floyd. Thank you. Okay, so then the most likely scenario then is too many applications. How do we deal with that? I'm expecting an onslaught. So that's where the scoring criteria comes in. And I tried to take into account any advice I got from court, as well as my own thoughts on the idea. And the basic plan is to try to identify those that were most impacted by COVID-19. Not necessarily those who were the lowest income before the pandemic hit, starting in March, but those that were most impacted by the pandemic. So in the scoring criteria, once we receive applications, we'll rank them according to the criteria. We have them there to benefit the most impacted, the poorest of the poor. In order to qualify for the program, you have to be 50% of area median income. For a 1-person household, that's approximately $20,500 a year. Not a whole lot of money. I would, however, just let court know that about 90% of the applications that we regularly get for the colonias are at 50% of area median income and lower. But we do assign more points to someone that's even poorer. So someone that's going to rate in at 30% of area median income and below, we'll give them a few extra points. Some other ideas is that the state did not require proof that you were actually impacted. It was a self-certification that you were financially impacted by the virus. So I added some points if you actually gave us some proof that you were financially impacted. Some ideas along those lines would be, for example, bringing us pay stubs from prior to March before you were impacted and then after, showing us the difference in pay, or perhaps a letter from an employer indicating that hours had to be reduced due to COVID-19. Whatever it is, some type of documentation that we can give folks extra points for having, indeed been financially impacted by the virus. Another idea that I hope is near and dear to the county's heart is I wanted to give people points for participating in the U.S. Census. Current participation rates in this area are around 40%. The census is vitally important to assigning money in normal times, but especially so during times of the coronavirus. I've heard it stated that every 1 person that participates in the census accounts for $2,000 that comes into the community over the course of a year. Imagine what that is during a pandemic year. And so drastic undercounting only hurts the county. Our hospitals aren't big enough, and everything else of that impacts. So I just wanted to give an extra points for anyone participating with the census. So at the center, if they don't self-certify that they have taken the census, then we'll take a laptop out to them, or if we can put a face mask on them and put them in the computer lab, we'll get them to take the census and get 10 extra points.
Awesome.
Basic fairness, we're so spread out. I really see Comstock as the most affected by this. They're 30 miles away from the self-help center. So what I propose to do, is to have an application workshop there. One of the very first days we start accepting applications, just to go out there, take a stack of applications with us to the community center out there, answer any questions that people may have. And I've also opened up a P.O. box at the center, for the center. We haven't had to receive mail, but I know that, post offices are kind of a lifeblood of little communities, and that's that way in Comstock as well. So if people don't want to drive the 30 miles to hand in the application, they can mail it to us, from Comstock. They can call us and we'll go pick them up, whatever we can do to help those folks out. And then, as far as other, basic fairness charges, and Commissioner Flores, this speaks to what, you were mentioning before, as far as how do we proportion things. The best I could come up with, was basically, just a simple ratio, with regards to population. And the population counts are used where the population counts that were included in the application to the state. Some of that data may be old, but it's the same data that was in the Colonia Self-Help Center, application and contract. So basically, a set of money is going to be set aside for each Colonia, that is equivalent to the amount of their population that represents as a percentage of the amount of money available. So no one Colonia for the first 3 weeks of the program will be allowed to exceed that quota. And that's the attempt to keep everything nice and fair. And then after 3 weeks, we'll have one more week where we are intensively targeting just the 5 colonias in the contract. And then that's when, for example, of Valverde Park Estates, which is our largest colonia, combined the 1 and 2 Valverde Park Estates, they're also so proximate to our center. Now that's when they would be allowed that 4th week to get in the applications. And so we'll do everything we can in San Diego Terrace to also have applications there available. We can certainly hold a workshop down there if you'd like. Anything we can do to address that concern.
My question is, we're doing a lot to help the poor people that receive a lot of stuff, but what about the people that were making a good living and lost their jobs, and when they come in and show their income, they're at 70 or 80,000, but now they have no income?
Then they will get the most points available in the scoring criteria, apart from being low income. But everybody's either going to get 40 or 20 points if you qualify right off the bat, depending on your income coming in. So if they had 0 income, they're going to get that 40 points right off the bat. And they're also going to get an extra 20 points if they can prove up that they were financially affected by the pandemic. That is the exact person we want.
That's going to be able to apply even though their income was 60, 70, 80,000 a year.
Yes, sir. When the state first came out with this, I argued with them quite a bit because they wanted to look at past income, even income prior to the pandemic. And I told them that it had to be for that exact reason. We had to be looking forward and projecting forward. So it will be income taken into account that's current. So whatever current income they have, if it's 0 current income, then that will be projected forward for the year as 0 income.
Okay.
Good.
And how much do you have to give out on this?
There's 269.5 in contracts, a little over $250,000, and $20,000 of that is general admin. So there'll be over $250,000 to be distributed.
All right.
Need a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
That motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. I looked down, couldn't see it. Approving resolution for signatures of emergency services help for Colonia, contract number 7219163, and granting, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton,
Second.
second Commissioner Vasquez, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 17, authorizing county judge to sign amendment number 2 to the SHC Administrative Services Contract for the inclusion of administration of the E-SHE grant.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 18, approving payment of request for payment draw number 1 under SHC contract number 7219163 in the amount of $134,866, I'm sorry, and granting authorization for county judge and county auditor to sign request.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, who seconded it?
I did.
Okay, Commissioner Flores. I did, I couldn't see you, you were talking down. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item 19, presentation update of Frontera, project bid opening, including results. Huh? Now switching. Why does it matter?
Your cable's on.
Oh,
Now.
the one way.
Go blue.
Oh, oh, he didn't want you to fall.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. The month of July was an active month for the Frontera project. We had to prepare ads for the announcement of the bids, and they were prepared by Mr. Guillermo Sanchez. We advertised on July 5th, 12th, and 19th in Laredo, Eagle Pass, Del Rio papers. With an opening of July 27th, we had 4 bids that were received. Before I go to that, we had received 23 total inquiries from either contractors and or vendors. So that was a good response to the ads. And on the 27th, we received 4 bids. They were the following: Alan Keller for $6,898,000. A.E. Hiller and Sons for $6,839,000. Anderson Columbia for $5,421,000. And Hunter Industries for $4,848,000. Keep in mind that the estimate that was provided to us by Dannenbaum, which was our consultant engineering firm from the get-go of this project, was at $5,200,000. We had to complete a bid analysis on each of the bids for mathematic or material unbalanced numbers, and that was prepared by Mr. Carlos Velarde, our engineer out of our risk management department. So now we're at the point where we have to submit the bid analysis together with the county's recommendation, whether to accept one of the 4 bids or to reject all 4. TxDOT then will receive that recommendation and letter at the district level and submit the award to the district level and submit for approval to award to the construction division. TxDOT has confirmed to me that this takes a lot of coordination efforts, takes time, and that the division approval from TxDOT is required before a contract can be awarded.
Mr. Garcia, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner.
I wanted to ask you, so what kind of time frame are we looking for all this to happen and take place?
Well, what she didn't say, but what I read between the lines in my discussion with Mrs. Duncan, is that it probably is going to take 2 to 3 months from the time we submit the bid analysis together with the county's letter of recommendation. So, you know, we're looking, depending on when we get that to her, we're looking at October, November, possibly even later. TxDOT is currently working totally from in-house, at home, I should say. And she emphasized that the coordination efforts to get all the parties that are at the different levels is quite a task. So the sooner we get that to her, the sooner that process can begin.
Tom, do we have a breakdown of where we're at financially on this?
Yes, sir.
I know we still have construction management, we have all those other things. Can you get us a list of what is available through the grant?
Yes, sir.
And what expenditures are still remaining, the construction, the testing, all of those? You give me a number of what we're short.
Okay. Yes.
Project completed.
If you can sharpen your pens right now, I can give that to you. We started from TxDOT with a reimbursable amount of $4,236,000. To date, we have processed reimbursements of $557,995. So the reimbursable balance by TxDOT currently, confirmed as of recently as last week, which was also confirmed in the latest letter that they gave to us in October of 2019, that balance is $3,678,959.
That's what we have, that includes the additional million they added to the project.
That's correct.
Well, that's what we have available.
That's correct.
Okay, and then we have
What,
the $1,000,000.
we'd set aside in this fiscal year, and we've done it for the last 2 years, $1 million, and then we still have a balance of about 200,000 and change. So we're about $1.2 million, and then part of the next fiscal year, would be during our budget process, we were gonna try to set aside another 700,000, which, that would cover, our project manager and our engineering, and about $300,000 for change orders. That million, and again, when we start going through the budget process, that million, will probably be absorbed in our coming fiscal year. So one of the plans would be to go out for a tax note for $1.7 million and stretch it over a period of 7 years and make that payment that way because of everything else that we have going on and bottom line is with our finances right now. And then we would still keep a strong fund balance, but you know, that'll be presented to y'all, but the plan would be, or one of the plans would be to go out for a tax note for the $1.7 million.
We're short 1.7.
Sir?
We're short 1.7.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Complete the project.
Yes, sir. Okay. And Tom and Guillermo and Carlos, I mean, they'll put all this stuff together and then bring it back, with Commissioner Flores. And Carlos is just laughing when I have no idea. But either way, but we'll go through the budget when we start. We have an item on here to set up the dates and everything for budget workshops, and then hopefully we went over everything with Matt, or Matt went over everything with me yesterday, so we can sort of put that plan together and then give y'all copies of the proposed budget and go ahead and follow our budget. That way y'all can begin work on it. Okay?
What was the start date on this project?
It would have been in 2008.
It started, my last understanding was 11 years ago, maybe 12.
Somewhere in there, I'd seen 2008.
I think that's
If I'm
right.
not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Mhm. Any more questions? No? No? Okay. Thank you, sir. Item 20, discussing matters relating to COVID. I just got a text message. I think Comstock voted to move theirs back to their school start 8/24 is what I just got. Also, Rotary, Chris had called, they are postponing the rodeo for the Rotary. And I talked to Diego Cadena this morning, and he said he was gonna visit with all his helpers and everybody, but he is probably going to postpone also, that event also. So the 2 events that we had in October, they've been postponed for the fairgrounds. Last night, the city voted to hire Dr. JJ as their local health authority. I had asked them, or I'd asked the city manager to hold off on that till we could come up with a decision on what we were gonna do. I think we're gonna have a special call meeting for Roy to do the taxes on Monday, if that's all right with y'all. And then I'll probably add an item on there for the local health authority to discuss the local health authority. We have issues, but again, we'll bring that up. Roland, do you have anything to add? No? The tracers, the trackers, I think before we hired Dr. Paula and Dr. Muskis came on board, and some of the other tracers, I think we were sitting like at 132, I think, and all of a sudden they came on board.
Right.
And we're over 800 individuals that have been cleared.
Yes, sir.
Is that right? You sent me a text.
Yes, sir, we're at 800, actually, as of last night, I got a text message from the team, and we're a little over 900.
A little over 900
901.
individuals right now that are cleared.
Yes, sir.
I think Dr. Laura, we had gone and asked the city to do the graph, help us with the graphs. I have no idea how come they don't balance. So seemed like you would do negative, positive, pending, and then that number should be the number.
Right.
But either way, I think Dr. Laura had said that she wanted to start doing some of the graphs. So we're probably going to do something on our website different than what the city's doing, just because we're getting a lot of phone calls that we're posting stuff and it's not right.
Yes, sir. And as you know, we're at 6 tracers, and we've got 3 interviews hopefully this week to fill some of these other roles. And then we still have Dr. Muski's volunteering his time in assisting, as well as an RN on board, a registered nurse, and we plan with, in obviously discussions that we've had about probably hiring another RN to assist with speeding up the process.
Also, the school did sign an interlocal. We had an interlocal that we were going to sign with the city. Y'all had given me permission to sign that. We thought we had it taken care of, and then this whole deal about them hiring a local health authority, hiring the same local health authority came up, and I believe that what they did, I think it's illegal. I'll just throw that out there. Because we don't have an interlocal in place that would allow them to do it. Again, on Monday, when we have the meeting, I'll give you all the discussion about the nursing homes and issues that we've had, not with Laughlin so much, but with our local health authority, and bottom line is not being truthful. But we'll have that discussion on Monday, and then we'll go from there. Do y'all have any questions?
Not right now.
Okay.
So I'd just like to add, just like to thank Sheriff Martinez and his staff for assisting us as well with the quarantine orders. I know they've been working diligently once we give them the list, and the turnaround time on trying to make sure that the community is safe and that the quarantine orders are enforced has been a big help from the Sheriff's Department. So thank them.
And I think the last week, Chief Harrington?
Yes, sir. Actually, the fire department's been assisting with helping us deliver the clearance letters for those individuals who may not have an email or they don't have to wait in the mail. What we're doing differently now with the county effort is that, before they put it in the mailbox and people were waiting 3 or 4 days to get the mail, now we're basically delivering at that moment, that day, that way there's not any problems.
Okay. That, like I said, we did have an interlocal with the city. They were gonna pay for tracers. I don't know where that stands right now with what they did last night. I did ask Fred Carranza a question if they were gonna hire their own tracers now. He said no, but I tried to get a hold of Matt this morning before the meeting, did not get a hold of him. I really believe, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out there now, that way everybody understands why, I'd like to have another meeting on our local health authority. I believe it's a conflict of interest for Liz to be on the city council. And then the vote to hire Dr. Gutierrez when Dr. Gutierrez is in charge of 2 nursing homes, a medical director for 2 nursing homes, and for the city to hire him. So I believe in my mind, and it's just my opinion, that there is a conflict of interest there. And when I look at the spike in the nursing homes, I think that this court needs to, when I give you all the numbers on Monday, I think this court needs to look at that. But either way. Anything else?
We're going to continue tracing and continue doing case investigations, and we've seen a little decline in the number of cases, but we'll continue to work and answer any questions if anybody has any.
All right, that'll work.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go on to item 21, approving the purchase of 3 air cards for the sheriff's office to install license plate readers.
I'll make a motion to approve, Judge. Thank you.
Have a motion, Commissioner Vasquez, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? All those against? It's a 4-1 vote. Commissioner Nettleton voted no. Item 22, adopting a resolution and order approving the County Transportation Infrastructure Fund Grant Program Agreement, designating authorized representative and making specific findings required by the Texas Department of Transportation. Damn. A motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 23, approving a letter to TxDOT authorizing Esser and Company to coordinate with TxDOT, the Val Verde County Transportation Infrastructure Fund Program.
Second.
I have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item 24, 2020, Val Verde County Appraisal District, budget. Did y'all get copies of that?
I don't have it with me, I don't remember it.
Okay, well, the biggest concern that I had in this was that they were getting raises. I mean, I haven't heard that the city's gonna give any of their employees raises. I know that in my budget, they're not gonna get raises, and that was my biggest concern. We can bring it back if y'all want.
How long do we have? Do we approve it or deny it before it's automatic? I know there's a deadline.
There is a deadline, and I don't have the packet that has the deadline, but you're correct, Commissioner. There is a deadline. And it would still take all the entities to deny their budget, not just ours alone.
Yeah.
So,
I understand it takes 3 minutes to deny it, but I was just trying to figure out when that was. So
Right.
we can bring it back or we need to vote on it now.
Well, we'll look into it right now. Try to get you an answer before we leave. Item 25, renewing women's shelter interlocal agreement for service between Val Verde County and the city of Del Rio. We had an agreement with the city of Del Rio, and they're working on their end. I just need I need direction from you to go ahead and give me authority as soon as we get that to bring it to council, and that way we can move forward with it.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second, Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 26, setting time and dates for budget workshops and hearings, not hirings. It's okay though. I don't know what y'all want to do. I think the hearing to finalize the budget needs to be after September 15th. So if y'all want to do some workshops between there, our next meeting would be on the 19th of this month, and then on the 2nd of September. Y'all want to do workshops the 19th the 19th of August and the 2nd of September, and then our hearing would be, we can do it anytime after the 15th of September. We needed to call a special meeting, or we can wait till the 23rd and take care of that.
I'll make a motion, Judge, to go those dates, August 19 and September 2nd for the workshop.
Okay?
Then do the final, budget after September 15.
Okay. Commissioner Nettleton, I have a motion, Commissioner Flores.
Discussion.
Okay.
Doesn't the number of hearings require change depending on what we set as a tax rate?
Yes, yeah. And that'll depend right now what we're gonna do on Monday.
Okay. So we can decide on Monday if we need additional meeting.
Yes, yeah. And according to calculations, we should be okay. The other deal was, it has a deal on here about posting elected officials' salaries. There's no need to post their salaries if there's no change, according to the document, according to the Senate Bill 2, 2020-2021 budget timeline. So if there's not gonna be a change, we don't even have to deal with posting the elected officials' salaries, if there's no change to their salaries or any form of compensation. But either way, are y'all okay with the dates, the 19th, the 2nd, and then if we had to call another special meeting, we will?
Yeah.
Okay, we have a motion, Commissioner Flores, second, Commissioner Nettleton. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. To post elected official salaries, again, item 27, there will be no need unless we change their salaries or,
But Judge, we can't do anything until you actually file the budget.
yes, sir, yes, sir. And we're trying to get that done just as soon as possible.
Yeah. So I mean, we can't take action on this until the budget is filed.
Yes, sir. But I just wanted to bring this up because unless y'all go to change it, then we don't need to do anything.
No, I agree there shouldn't be any elected official salary increases, but
Okay.
I don't know that we can take any action until that budget's filed.
All right. Well, no action. Item 28, purchasing survey equipment for county engineer at a price of $28,600.
we need to get him some survey equipment so that he can start surveying. We can either wait and put it in the new budget or however y'all wanna do it, but he needs to get some survey equipment.
Can we go ahead and wait, make that motion, and we'll put it in this, in the proposed budget?
Make a motion that we add it into the upcoming budget.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Who seconded it? Commissioner Vasquez? Okay.
I said,
Okay, I got a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Vasquez. All those in favor, all the little yellow things are lighting up. All those in favor?
All right.
aye.
5-0 vote. Item 29, purchasing a 2003 Komatsu WA 255L wheel loader at the price of $28,000 with funding to come out of operating funds and later application of FEMA reimbursement.
What I wanna do is the FEMA money that is coming in from the flood stuff is pay it out of there, but that money's not in yet, so to pay it out of operating now and then to reimburse operating once that funding comes in. And if it comes in the next fiscal year's budget, then the money will go back into either beginning cash balance or wherever out of the FEMA. Motion.
Commissioner, you don't have any money in Authorizing?
Nope.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton. I need a second. Second, Commissioner Wardlaw. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Also, in talking about the FEMA money, that money, if y'all will look at y'all's budget, Commissioner Wardlaw, it was in y'all's budget, that other 20-some odd $1,000. It looks like you're gonna need it for the rest of the fiscal year, so it will not be in, your proposed budget, that $25,000. And then, also, Commissioner Vasquez, if you'll look at yours, it's in your budget, and there was a discussion whether to put it in operating or in capital. The decision was, I made the decision to put it in operating, that way y'all can do, I mean, if you do operating or you come back to court, you'd spend it as capital. And Commissioner Nettleton also, your money's already in there, but the whole amount, depending on when it comes in, then we'll figure out, what we're gonna do with it. My work?
No.
And Commissioner Flores, we're still waiting on a dollar amount, and I think it was reimbursement. We had to turn in some invoices and then get reimbursed on that. So we've not been able to put that one in your dollar amount, in your budget yet. Okay? That was a long-winded deal. Item 30, declaring case W14C rubber tire loader serial number JAK0030241 surplus property and authorizing the purchase agent to auction the same.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Did y'all need a rubber tire loader for the fairground? Machine.
Well, in this budget, we've set aside some money for them to buy a rubber tired loader. And I didn't know whether it'd be yours or it'd be precinct 2's for the simple, precinct 2's has more attachments that go along with it. It has the forks and everything. I don't know, do you have yours with
No,
forks?
mine is a regular rubber tire loader for me, but that's fine.
Okay.
It's not in a great, it's not number one shape, but it's decent, but
Okay.
it's whatever they wanna do, it doesn't matter.
We have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
All right.
5-0 vote. Item 31, reviewing RFP for geotechnical testing for Frontera Road bid project 20-006. Guillermo.
Morning, Commissioner, good morning, Judge.
Morning.
We received one bid, or one RFP from Millennium Engineering Group. We would need a selection committee. It's only one, so we can review the qualifications of the company for Frontera Road, and so we can see if this is the company we want to go with, or if we reject it and we want to go out for other RFPs.
Okay, so we need a committee to look at this one to check and see if we're gonna stick with it. Anybody have a motion and come up with a committee?
Approved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. Who do y'all want on the committee? Who do y'all want on the committee? Guillermo,
I'd like to be part of the committee.
I'll amend my motion to appoint Guillermo, Tom, and Commissioner Flores.
okay, can you add, Carlos?
And Carlos.
That'll work. We have a motion, second accept.
Second accept.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye, 5-0 vote. Item 32, awarding 20-002 hail damage roof repair bid for multiple sites to Advantage USAA Inc. in the amount of $95,704.10 payable out of county project fund, which is insurance.
We didn't get any local people bid on
None.
No, sir.
They put out, 3 different bids. It was advertised here. Some of these individuals here were also called. And the bids were actually split up like this in 3 different bids. That way you give people that were here an opportunity to bid in case they couldn't get their bid bond or whatever up as high. When you combine all 3 of them, we didn't get any local bidders.
Did we already brought it to justice with the damage to them?
No, the Justice of the wants the adjustment from PAC. So whatever PAC, brought over to look at this, they were the ones that did the adjustment.
Yeah, we tried to hire local people, and that, like, again, that's one of the reasons it was split up in 3 different bids. 3 different contracts just to get it the dollar amount lower, but we didn't have anybody local bid. And, the individuals that are here, were the low bidders, and there was, between some of them, quite a bit of price difference. And, they're also going back, and I think on all 3 of them, y'all are having to go back, Guillermo and Carlos, to go back and ask for more money, right?
Yes, sir.
From TAC? And they've agreed to it?
Yes, sir. Carlos is working with TAC right now to get supplemental money covered for the difference in the total damage claim and the lowest bidder on all 3 of them.
Okay.
that. All right, motion to approve.
Have a motion? Go ahead. You second? Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
All right.
5-0 vote. Okay. Hold on 1 minute. Matt just sent me a text. So we have until the 16th for the appraisal district. So we have a meeting on Monday. We can go ahead and take care of that on Monday then. We'll put it on the agenda for the appraisal district. Item 33, awarding contract 20-003 hail damage roof repair bid for juvenile center and detention wing to Advantage USAA Inc. in the amount of $66,295.77 payable out of county projects fund.
Move.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
All right.
5-0 vote. Item 34, awarding 20-003 hail damage roof repair bid for Valverde County Library to Unit Care Building Maintenance, Inc. in the amount of $59,970.73 payable out of county projects fund.
Move.
Second.
Have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0 vote. Item 35, authorizing county sheriff to sign 2020 modification form USM 607A. What is it, Sheriff?
It's a modification in some funds, a difference of $7,500. The current funded amount was $2,500, and the adjusted amount is $75 for a total revised amount of $10,000, and this is for services provided.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item 36, considering the addition of partial lump sum payment and retirement program to the county's Tcdrs plan. Juanita?
Do we have Mr. Tim Crosby? Who will be calling in?
He's here?
I'm letting him in.
Yeah, he's fixing to be bumped in. Is he here?
He's coming.
He's connecting. There he is. Tim, how's it going?
It's going well. How are y'all today?
Doing good, doing good. Juanita?
We had an issue where an employee had requested to retire, and part of our Tcdrs retirement plan, this employee was wanting to pull, completely withdraw his money from the plan. And by doing so, he was gonna leave the county's portion of the contributions, on the table. He was only going to take his portion. So there is a program that can be put in place as part of our Tcdrs plan, and that's where Mr. Crowley comes in. You can explain how that works.
All right. Thank y'all, Your Honor, Commissioners, for allowing me to be here this morning. Juanita and I have had a pretty detailed conversation about your plan and what is actually available to the plan. As you know, you have a very unique plan. This is one of the few plans in the country that we know of that allows you, the court, to make decisions about your plan every single year. So you can actually increase or decrease your benefits, and you can also add different options to this plan, which is what I want to talk to you about. I'm going to, if I
We lost you.
can, I would like to share some of my information. Can everybody, do y'all see that by chance?
Yeah. No, and we're losing you. You're skipping in and out. I think your internet on your side's a little.
Okay. Am I skipping out?
Yeah.
I've got a pretty weak signal. Anyway, so let me go into this before I get cut off here. The court has an opportunity to add what we call a partial lump sum at retirement. This is a one-time decision. Once the decision is made, it will be with the county for the rest of the plan. The partial lump sum at retirement allows a retiree to take out up to 100% of their contributions and interest as a lump sum when they retire. Okay, so just for simplicity's sakes, we have, say a person has $100,000 that they've collected throughout their career. The county puts in the 225% match, or they throw in $225,000. So together, we have $325,000, which we calculate and annuitize. So we determine a monthly payment for the rest of their life based on that $325,000. Now, if you have the partial lump sum in place, it allows a person to take up to that 100% of their contributions. And what that actually does is it reduces their monthly benefit considerably. So instead of annuitizing $325,000 for my example, they will annuitize $225,000. They will still be paid a guaranteed monthly benefit, but the benefit will be substantially reduced. Now, all of the withdrawals from this plan, especially with this option, are pre-tax savings. So when we pull that $100,000 out for that employee, we are also going to take 20% right off the top of that, and there may be some future taxing implications with that also. So it's not just straight cash on hand. We will take the 20% for federal income taxes due, plus they get a reduced benefit. My big concern with this plan, I've been doing this a long time, is that people take the money out for the wrong reasons. I think a good education and presentations to make sure that your employees understand this go a long way for making this a very good option. Because a lot of people right now will take part of that money out to pay off their home or their credit card debt, so they're living debt-free in retirement, and that's not a bad thing. But we gotta make sure that they understand that this isn't free money to go out and buy a bass boat or a brand new truck, because they will have a reduced benefit, and that may have implications in their life further down the road.
What does this cost us? What does it cost the county?
Well, the rates, let me, I know that the actual dollar amount cost is about $261,887.04.
Per year?
No, that's just the cost of that change. Your increase to your plan, and I've got it right up here. Let's see, it will be, oh boy, let me see, I'm trying to get to this one page right. Hang with me just one second. Okay. Will be, sorry about this, guys, I've got to pull this back up again.
So it's $261,000. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
That's
And
just
your rate next year, if you choose to do this for next year's plan, your rate goes from 12.21% of payroll up to 12.73%.
So another.
So there is an increase in that dollar amount, and that will be installed from that point forward.
Yeah. I don't know. That seems like a lot.
You've got some options. You can select this plan and start paying that 12.73% next year. You can pay money towards this at like an additional contribution. It doesn't have to be the entire amount, but if you want to put some money down, it would help reduce that impact to your plan. Or you can choose to do maybe a higher elected rate. You've got that 12.73. You can choose to pay a little bit more each month. You've got a lot of options in this plan that allows you to kind of take control and stabilize
Juanita,
your,
Juanita, do you have everything that he's talking about on paper or on email or something?
Yes, sir, I have it on email.
Let's do this. I mean, I don't have it.
Judge,
Ma'am.
if I may add something, this is something that doesn't happen all the time. I think in the time that I've been here, that's been 6 years, it's only come up this one time.
Okay.
But, I mean, it's something that the court might want to consider or
Well,
just not.
Yeah, well, it's a substantial amount of money, not only to get into it, and then every year, another $50,000 a year, is what Matt's shaking his head, what our contribution would be more from now on. And like you say, in 6 years, it's only come up once. I mean, I appreciate you bringing the information, I really do. But Commissioners, do y'all want to let him go ahead and send us all this information if we want to? We can put it back on the agenda?
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money to be spending for once every 6 years or whenever this comes up. The point of our retirement program is for people to have a retirement for the rest of their lives. I want to look at it before I make a decision.
Okay, so, Tim, would you mind, just make sure, Juanita has everything, she'll get it to us, and then we'll put it back on the agenda? Will that work?
Sir, well,
All right.
let me clarify one thing. That $261,000, if y'all decided that's what you wanted to do and you wanted to pay for that up front, by paying that $261,000, then your rates would not increase, okay? It's not a cash, you gotta pay this and pay the higher rate. The cost of doing that option is about $261,000. If you pay that up front, your rate remains the same and you carry on. So you've got options. You can pay for it up front so you don't have to fill it month to month, or you can just say, okay, we want to do it, but we don't have any money, and you can do that also. Your rates would just go up. It wouldn't cost you any money. But I'll be more than happy to get that information to you.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much for your time. I'll take care.
Item 37, Juanita, thank you. Item 37, approving HR monthly reports from July 9th, 2020 to August 4th, 2020.
They're all in compliance?
Yes, sir.
I have a motion, Commissioner Nettleton, second Commissioner Flores. All those in favor? 5-0 vote. Item 38, executive session item that may result in action in open session thereafter. A, attorney-client privilege, 551.071, parentheses 2, attorney-client privilege. B, 551.071, 7.2, deliberation regarding real property. C, 551.071, parentheses 1, parentheses A, contemplated litigation. We'll take a little potty break and then we'll go into executive session.
We're good, sir.
Good. We're on Commissioners Court. Come back in session. It's either 5:01 or 11:05. It's 11:05. It's like a lot of glare, right? Can't see. Like we talked a lot. No action was taken. Commissioners' comments?
Good. Can we go back to item 20 to discuss a couple of things?
Yes, sir. We're going to go back to item 20, discussing matters related to COVID-19. Commissioner?
The councilor has brought up some good things about needing some social service stuff for the people that are sick, some food distribution for the people, and we're doing a good job of it, but I'm starting to think that maybe we need to look at doing something more in those areas. I'm still not 100% convinced all the money we're spending on tracing is accomplishing anything, but I do see a need to help these people who have lost people and to get people the hot meals and the things that they need while they're quarantined and those types of things. I don't know exactly how we plug that hole, but I think we need to start looking at possibly plugging that hole to try to help those people that are in those positions.
Judge?
Of course, I agree.
Matt?
Yeah, the food distribution to
Matt? Go ahead.
food
We're
distribution.
spending a lot of money on all of this tracing and contacting and all these other doing, and I feel not convinced that money is going in the right place. I do see a need for those people that are quarantined to have the hot meals they need, to have the social services to help them through these things that they're going to be dealing with. I see that more than I see the contact tracing part, but that's just my personal opinion.
You know, and on the contract tracing, I mean, they've been able to sort of contain, you know, once they had contact, they've been able to contain, like little hot spots, because they figured out, okay, they had this one, they had that one, they got in contact with this one, and then they started making those phone calls and trying to get them to stay home. That way it wouldn't spread. So, I mean, I think there's a need for both.
But are we able to get these people to stay home? I mean, I guess that's
the majority of them, yes. To say that we have everyone staying at home, no. The issue that we have had in a couple of cases that you've had family members that had it, and then they visited with so-and-so at another gathering, and then the tracers were able to get to that gathering and figure out who was there and sort of slow it down. Look, y'all need to stay home because this one's positive. Then you've had contact with them, and I can tell you though that, you know, they have been able to slow this thing down by the contact tracing. You know, the meals and all that, you know, I agree. I do think that we're going to end up doing all of it. I mean, you know, it's one of those deals that, do we really know where it started and all that? No. You know, but if we can stop it from spreading by knowing who this individual was in contact with, you know, and sort of move forward with it, because I've seen it happen. I mean, I've seen it where they've had the phone calls, they've seen the individuals, and they were able to stop it before it just continued, because you were calling them individuals saying, look, you had contact with this one, you need to stay quarantined. And then, you know, a week later, all of a sudden they're positive, but they've already been at home. Answer your question, are we keeping everybody home? No, not everybody. There's people that...
But one of the problems that we have is that, the biggest problem we have is with release, and when you tell somebody that's not infected to stay home, it's a good thing, but at some point we need to tell them it's okay to leave, and that's one of the shortcomings too, is that we're not following up on that.
Okay, I will tell you that we went from 102 to almost over 900 in the last 2 weeks of getting people released. And that's part of that dollars that we're spending on individuals that are capable of doing the follow-up. So do we know there was a problem? Yeah. Are we going to be perfect? No, it ain't going to be perfect. Are we ever gonna get where we don't have complaints? It's never gonna happen. I do think that at some point though, and I'm gonna say this, hell, it should not be, if your husband died, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, I'm gonna probably get heat, but if your husband died and you have COVID, and now you're wanting me to go feed you, but yet you were out the week before knowing that you and your husband had COVID, out distributing food, or out distributing and trying to sell tickets or sell whatever you were selling, at some point, these individuals need to take care of themselves. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there because, we're supposed to be the save-all. We're supposed to be able to walk on water. Shit ain't gonna happen. I have people that call me in, and I'm sure you do too, but, that we need to do more, we need to do more. Well, you're COVID positive, you've already been cleared, you gave it to your parents are at the house, and you want us to figure out how to get them food, but yet you're the one that gave it to your parents? These individuals, at the end of the day, they need some responsibility for what they're doing, and we could spend all the money in the world, and we still would not be perfect. There is individuals that need help, and we're gonna try to help them, but there's a lot of individuals that you deliver food to them for 2 to 3 weeks, and then they keep calling the same places. Hell, you were cleared a week ago, but yet we're still to deliver food. Now, I get really upset with this because, we're trying to do our best, and a lot of people, all they do is complain, but they're not part of it. I mean, shit. Yeah. Either way, I'm sorry. Just got on my eyes.
Yeah. When we talk about that, and it's the whole checklist part that, I just live with checklists, is that once that person gets cleared, then the people that distribute the food should be notified. So that stops. And if we have a system with rules and whatever, you're right, it's not gonna be perfect, it's never gonna be perfect, but as long as we have consistency, that's an improvement.
Well, the thing is though, that I think we've gotten really good, especially since there's no playbook in this, and there's nothing out there that shows us what we're supposed to be doing. Again, we've got, how many cases, 1,600, 1,700? Yeah, I mean, and you've cleared over 900 in almost, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And we've delivered PPE, Commissioner Vasquez, Commissioner Flores, Bo, Martin, everybody delivered food when it needed to be delivered. Again, is there a checklist? I don't know if there's a checklist, but I think we're doing really well. And the reason that we keep delivering food is because we keep getting the phone calls. Well, you need to. And until I get the phone call, look, this has been 3 weeks and they're still delivering food. I mean, yeah, do we need to quit doing it? Yeah, we do. But, I mean, people are still trying to help. And you either get blamed because you're not doing enough or you get blamed because you're doing too damn much. And we can come up with checklists all the time.
Yeah, but I'm not disparaging what we've done, and I think we've done a great job, and I understand there's no playbook. But when we get to the point where we have a problem in an area, then we need to resolve it as a whole, because we're not going to have that problem just with that one individual. And because you get the calls and they're exactly the same calls. So there's a level of complaining, and that we can use that, like what you said, the fact that somebody's already been cleared and they're asking for food. How can we resolve that? Well, we can resolve it by letting the person that delivers the food know that this person's already been cleared.
And we're doing that.
I think we've done a great job.
And we're doing that.
I think we've done it. Okay, so we're not going to have that problem anymore. And that way we can take the judgment out of it, the emotion out of it, and we can just provide a very calm service.
Maybe the city can pick up some of those pieces.
Absolutely. Is the meeting over?
No, I didn't know whether y'all wanted to continue or not, but before I say something and go off my little deep end here, figured I'd walk away. So, are y'all done?
Yeah.
Well,
Got a question, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell, what is the level of infection in the general population? What's the estimate? Known and unknown.
Oh, hell. I mean, if you're at
17%? I mean, we've had
Estimating.
we've had 1,500 cases, well over 6,000 people have tested, so we drew our last statistic, and you allow me an opportunity to pull it up, I can, what our last infection rate was and what that, statistic looked like overall. Let me pull it up. It's a little high compared to the state average.
Well, we got, if my numbers are correct, I went on 1,600 people that are positive. How many people today are we positive?
Well, we're 1,550 because you had a lot of retests. So you've had nearly 70
I put
retests.
1,600, and I don't know if this will answer your question, but we're a population of 60,000 or 50,000. 50, I put in 1,600. You're about 3% of the individuals in our community right now are positive. Did that answer your question, sir?
That we know of.
That we know of, yeah.
Well, there's probably another
1,600. Yeah, because we've had a lot of them.
Another 2%?
I would think whatever number we have is probably double that.
Okay.
Just for the simple reason that, we have a lot of people that went to go get tested, that we know that went to go get tested with no symptoms. And they just thought, well, I had contact with somebody, but didn't really, I'm not feeling anything. So they went to go get tested and they test positive, and then all of a sudden, 8 days later, 9 days later, then the whole family's, the mama, the daddy, we've had one that, the girl was not asymptomatic, went to go get tested. She was around somebody that was positive, got a phone call that they tested positive. She went to go get tested, no symptoms. But next thing you know, or she said she had no symptoms. Next thing you know, it's the mama, the dad, the brother, the sister, and the husband that were infected because of one person.
That's what we're all dealing with. One out of 10.
Yeah. No. And we get the phone calls also that, this is a hoax. People are dying. I will tell you that I had a conversation this week and then Thursday and Friday with 2 other people, and they said, well, we're going to have dead people. They're going to die. And, we have dead people last year at this time too. And how many people are COVID? And I said, well, what I can truthfully say is that I am 57 years old, or 58, one or the other. And I've never seen all the funeral homes have the capacity or have the individuals, as many people there as what they have now. So is it a hoax? No, it's not a hoax. Do we have dead people? Do we have people die? Yes. We had people die last year at this time too. But I've never seen it where the funeral homes have so many individuals there that have passed. And one of the things that ties all of this together is COVID. Whether they died of COVID completely or they died of COVID because it shut down the heart or you had a heart attack or kidneys, whatever. But it's not a hoax. And we set some money aside, and y'all will get the budget here in a couple of days. We set the money aside to help do this. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not going to be enough. Commissioner Nettleton and Anna and the rest of y'all, commissioners, we do have a lot of holes in our game. We do. We're going to try to plug them, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be all about the dollars. And I hate saying that, but it is what it is. We will get an interlocal to the city today and see if they're going to sign it or not to help us with tracers and the RNs. And we'll get that to Matt sometime today, Matt, the city manager. And then answer to your question earlier, we'll see what part they're going to play in all this with funds. The school district, we already got an interlocal with them. We've already signed that, and they're going to start paying for 2 tracers, and we'll get a bill over to them. All right?
Good. We don't have a medical director. You're more informed on this than anybody. What can you do medically? What do you do if somebody that has it? What's the medication they take?
Well, there's, I'm going to try real hard not to get into that. Take a deep breath before, like my sister says, breathe in Jesus before you start talking. But there's a Remdesivir, what's the name of it?
Remdesivir.
Remdesivir is what Karen just told me. that medicine right there, we were not getting it. Now, the hospital is receiving it. That medicine is given before they need oxygen, at the point that they need oxygen, and then they're given steroids, my understanding.
Well, it is available.
That right now it is, yes, sir, yes, sir. And it was really sad because we couldn't get it because we didn't have enough people in the hospital, and I hate saying it, but we didn't have any deaths. And when all this started occurring, now the state, federal government decided there's a need. That's how come Eagle Pass was getting it before we were. And, you know, one of the comments was a little while ago, we sort of passed Eagle Pass on deaths, right, or on cases. So now we're getting it, which, you know, but in treatment, you say the treatment, I will tell you that the hospital, I have not seen their report this morning. They've gone from their beds being full to 1 or 2 or even 5 beds at one point that they had available. The ventilators, they have 14, and they've gone from using all of them to, I think, on the 30th, I think they had 8 in use. They had 4 available or something, and you know, so it goes up and down as far as, you know, the need at the hospital. I will tell you that they'd asked for help from the federal government, those individuals that came in from the federal government, the Navy, you know, they're helping. They brought in pulmonologists and stuff like that also. Did that answer your question, or I just kept on talking?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hey, Judge. Go ahead, Ron.
We're gonna give them the chart. I have this email on the graphs that we did.
Okay. Who's gonna email it to them?
This list.
Okay, and Liz, they sent a chart on to maybe answer some of your questions a little bit too, Martin, or Commissioner Wardlaw. Roland just got a chart sent to Liz, and Liz will email that out to all 4 of the commissioners here in just a minute. All right. Matt, did you want to say something?
Monday.
9 o'clock, would that be all right? Matt,
On those food distribution costs, if we can capture those are reimbursable. But we know from our projections, from our salaries, we had roughly around $60,000 left over in the CRF. Now, that was being the interlocals were signed that day that we budgeted. The interlocals have not been signed. I don't know if they're going to be retroactive. I don't know when they're going to start. In addition to that, these projections do not include overtime. Some of our part-timers that are working are actually dipping into overtime, and they were budgeted for part-time. So not only are they exceeding the 40 hours per pay period, they're exceeding 80. So these projections are going to have to be redone. They're going to be short. So we're going to flow over into county.
and we've already talked to the tracers right now, or we talked to them last week about overtime to cut it, especially since we were bringing more on to cut the overtime.
All right.
And so that conversation did happen last week when we were addressing. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any other comments? Okay. County judges' comments, none. Y'all be safe. Y'all have a good evening, good day. Meeting's adjourned.
Good.